What is up, guys? In today's video, I want to talk about the Continental bosses. I want to share with you guys my strategy for the second week of the Imperial Shadow recast. Basically, you want to make the most out of your teams. You want to attack the 4 weakest bosses with the strongest teams that you have available on your account to min-max your damage. I am currently on the main account, so I'm going to share with you my whale teams. I will be doing a different video from the free-to-play account, so stay tuned for that. Basically, I'm going to explain you what teams I'm running, the strats with the teams, and everything that you need to know. If you guys enjoy the content, do me a favor. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you guys want to put your hand on free rewards, you can actually still use code Skratch right here, or go directly to the website, use code Skratch, and you're going to be able to claim some free rewards. Now, the event is over for us as creators, but you're still going to be able to claim some free rewards. Maybe it will resume back in the future. The whole idea is I've already done a video on my Vasak team, so basically that should be live by the time you're watching this. Vaska, I'm always calling this boss Vasaka or whatever the heck. Vaska. So I've done 438 million damage versus this boss. Now, I have pretty much teams to deal with every single boss, okay? I have poison. I'm good with everything. Now, even though Talendor is the boss that should be weak versus necrosis, right, based on whatever bonuses we have right here, our necrosis team will perform much better versus Vaska. So if you're not planning to use your frost team this time around, use summoners versus Vaska. If you have no other teams and you're planning to run both necro and frost, run frost versus Vaska, run necro versus Talendor, and that will balance out. It will still give you a better result. But we have 4 more different bosses. Versus Vinyaura, Wild is the best. That's exactly what we're going to run. Versus Chrysos, Dauntless is the best. Now, even though I've got the exclusive for Nasty Jenka recently, I'm not going to run this team because it has a bit of an issue with the survivability, right? We're not able to really pull her off and survive till the end. And I feel like out of all of the teams, this is the weakest damage that I can currently get on my account. So we're going to run Poison versus Tamar. We're going to run Rally versus Twitch. Even though my plan initially was to run Rally only next week, they tend to perform slightly better than Dauntless versus the bosses, because Chrysos is absolutely freaking OP. So, in here, guys, we are going to run this team. Now, Rally has always been known as being one of the best AoE damage team in the entire game. This time around is not as powerful as in the past, but it's still fairly good. I tried quite a few different things with this team versus Twitch. Basically, if you're doing the Planet Expedition with the Rally, you're gonna notice that giving Lorantil a lot of skill haste and giving him, for example, the Rift Hourglass is better, because your team will rotate much faster and they will get to have a much better damage output, because they're going to use their skills way more often. Now, versus this boss, because we do get different bonuses, you're going to get a huge amount of attack, right? You're going to get all of these attack stacks on your team. The whole idea is that in here, running the pipe organ, for example, is much better just because of that simple thing. Even though with the Rift Hourglass, I get to rotate way more often, the downpipe organ, spreading the attack to the rest of the team, will have a better damage output than if you're not using it, basically. But this is kind of like the OG strat. That's exactly how you were building them 1-2 years ago. Downpipe organ on Lorantil, basically to boost more attack, as much attack as possible on him. The talents will make quite a bit of a difference as well, but we're going to go over that in a second. Alton will apply the defense down. He's going to have the Brotherhood set, because he will go straight before the nukers all the time. So like this, we're basically going to have that damage boost spot on. Now, Lorantil will have the Puppeteer set. He's going to rotate much faster, and he could get out of sync. Most likely, he will get out of sync in some cases. So you want to make sure you're not messing up the boost damage that you can get from the Brotherhood set. We have Gillian on an Ancestral Protection set. That's really important because if not, the rest of the team won't survive. You want to have the Gatekeeper Staff. Basically, bringing you back to the past is more or less the same strategy with her. Whenever we used to have Continental bosses, Gatekeeper Staff on her was the best thing. Or we used to have a different artifact that is not in the game anymore, so it's no point to talk about the bells. You want to have resistance. The whole idea is to basically give some resistance to the rest of your team, but it's all about gaining more ultimate energy, and you want her to rotate as often as possible to basically heal your team constantly. Very, very important if we're talking about survivability. And then we have the damage dealers. I do need to have a healing piece on them, especially on Filto. I even have a defense or a HP rune on him because he tends to get smacked pretty damn often. So he's the first one to die every single time. When we're talking about the bosses, so you see you have them at the back corner. The whole idea is that if you're using melee characters to basically tank or anything like that, these two from the back will not move in the front to create the perfect diamond shape and deal AoE damage with Huberg. Huberg is going to be by far the best damage dealer for the rally element, okay? He's gonna stack up a lot of rally, and then he's just going to go and use the orbs more and more and more. But you need this perfect diamond shape. And if the bosses stay in this big triangle, it's not gonna work because you're only gonna cover 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you come like this. So you're not gonna hit these two. That's why running only ranged characters will push the enemies at the back in this line right here, where is my mouse, right? So you wanna tank with Gillian. She's going to tank. Alten is not really going to do damage, so I gave him more survivability to make sure he's going to survive. Then we have Laurentil, not that tanky, but we have them all in this corner. So the bosses will basically attack them more often than they will attack the rest. Now this will be random. It's nothing you can do about it because it's at random targets, but this will basically attack some of the characters in here. Now Filto will get hit by it no matter how you're doing it. Filto needs to stay in here because he's gonna shoot in a straight line, only 3 tiles. So if you're putting him here, he's not going to hit the middle boss, so that will make you lose a lot of damage. Before we start the run, let me show you the skill timing. So they're on default because it's gonna be very hard to time it. He's gonna gain a lot of ultimate energy. You want him to rotate as often as freaking possible. So like this, basically you're going to be able to let him run wild. Especially Filto, he's going to gain ultimate energy, which will push him in front of the rest. If you skill time them, you're not necessarily getting better damage, at least from what I've seen. You can run them at 14.5, you can run them at 15, and even like that, they're still not doing more damage. You just gotta let that Filter run wild, basically, because even though they might not have defense down all the time, he's gonna benefit a lot from it. So let's start a run. I'm not gonna do insta battle, guys, because I want to use those for my wild team, which has so much freaking RNG, and I've already showed you how that team works. So we're gonna save them all for that team, in case if I need all of the 16, 17, 18, how many of them I still have left. Probably I will, because the RNG is just awful. And I will do a normal run on the poison team, just to kind of like show you how that works. Now, I've tried 2 different variations in there as well, but we'll talk about it later. So Filto will get hit here, as I've mentioned, no matter what we're doing. You see, when they're using their ultimates, they will jump on him. It is what it is. Is happening. Now, the whole idea is that if they don't crit, if they're not absolutely demolishing us with every single skill, we're gonna survive probably almost till the end. Maybe we're gonna die 10, 20 seconds before the end, but that's fine. It's not the end of the world. If they're gonna crit, we can die literally 1 or 2 minutes before. It really depends how nasty it gets, right? But we have 150 million damage already. This team won't really do a huge explosion like Wild or Necro or anything like that. The explosion thing does work on this boss, but it's just the team not doing like humongous damage, right? But still, if it could get timed somehow, kind of like allow us to push better damage before the 200 million, I'm definitely gonna take that in. You see, we lost Filter right here. This was an unlucky crit, literally an unlucky freaking crit, because normally he doesn't die as fast, right? I've tried putting him in different ways to don't get hit, but honestly, no matter what I'm doing, he's still gonna get hit. Maybe if I do this, it might change, but probably Huberg is gonna get hit like this as well, because the boss will be more tempted to hit that. Or maybe he will hit only the corner. Let's see. Yeah, he's getting hit, and I think even Filter is getting hit by it now. Let's see. It's so hard to say it on 4x speed, and especially the Twitch animation is so freaking fast. But you see how they moved one tile in front, the bosses from the back, right? And they create that perfect diamond shape, so our Huberg can actually demolish them. Now, those stacks of attack, they do go up on our characters really, really freaking fast. Like, we have a lot of them. Funny thing is that now my Laurentil only has 67, while Filter has more. So we want to have Laurentil to get as many as possible faster than anyone else, right? Because that will basically boost the attack on the entire team. Okay. 150. We have 2 minutes and 39 seconds. Filter, do not die. Oh my god, as soon as I said it. Why are they being so freaking hardcore to him? I've done like 3 freaking runs before, guys, and he died only literally at the end. It seems like I've used all of the freaking good RNG, and I did change this to the HP one, yeah. Weird. Okay. I'm actually gonna store this, so I have it saved. Rift Hourglass, unfortunately, not as great, but have 21. You know what? I'm gonna use a few. Basically, you've seen how the run works, because I have 2 more teams to show you. Basically, we talked about Vesca already in the previous video, so you're gonna find all of the info there. 210, probably he died too early. I've got 217. I'm gonna do a couple of more runs. I'm gonna do a couple of more runs to basically try and see if I can push it to like 216, 217 again. Come on, Filter, don't die again early, bro. 215, almost 216. We survived. You know what? I'm gonna take this. So everybody survived. Maybe we had a bit of bad RNG with the defense down and stuff, but I'll accept that. I really do not have the luxury to retry it 1,000 times. So that's team number 2 done. Then we're gonna go versus the poison, versus Tamar with the poison team. I'm gonna show you basically what we are running in here. I've done a couple of different variations for this team, and I'm getting more or less the same damage, like literally the same damage. If I can look for it in my Discord, let me just quickly find. Actually, yeah, I found them. Let me just bring them up for you. So I've done this, which is one of the variations. And then I've done this, which is another one of the variations. So it's more or less the exact same freaking thing. 239 with both of the teams. Either one of them works, of course. A lot of people won't be looking to skill up Tolwer, right? So you might want to go with Sifris. Now, for this one, we are actually running a different strat. This boss will dispel buffs when you gain a buff with a passive. And then in order to resist the stun, to don't get stunned, you need to have another buff on. Now, I want my team to survive too. And because I want my team to survive, what I've done is the following. So in terms of skill timing, we have Ogok 14.5 to 18. We have Twitch on default. We have him more or less on default too, but on 18-second rotation. Corin is going to go ham. He's going to rotate as often as possible. And we have Sifris on default, but on an 18-second cycle. So basically, she will buff, the boss will dispel that, and Ogok will keep unkillable on all of your teams, so they survive, okay? That's what I've done with them. In terms of the actual builds, Twitch will do pretty good damage, so you want to prioritize attack, enlightenment, some accuracy on him to apply the poisons. Talent-wise, I went with the top 3 on the talents. Maybe swapping some of the talents around could be helpful. I tried with Corin to give him the bottom talent tree, but it really did not make a difference. Then we have Lothair. I do not have the exclusive, so I'm running the Statue of the Serpent, best in slot for him. And this is the build, attack, enlightenment. Kind of trash stats, to be honest. They're really not that great. Corin, he's running, of course, with the Rift Hourglass. I do have a Brotherhood set. Now, if you're giving a Puppeteer set to Corin, your team will desync, okay? Because Ogok, sometimes, for whatever reason, it won't get to keep the 18 seconds cooldown. I've tried that initially, and I was like, okay, that's a problem. So that's why I swapped the Puppeteer on Ogok and Brotherhood on him instead. Because of that simple reason. Now, this might cost me a little bit of damage. It might not, but hey, either way. That's what we have in terms of stats and talents. And then we have Sifris. Sifris does need this set to stay alive because she likes to sacrifice HP. I do not have full talents on her because I don't think I need them. I have the Spiritual Incense Burner because she has a very long cooldown on the skill to make sure she's going to get down to an 18 seconds rotation instead. Basically, we are using this Aura Enlightenment. This is the positioning. So like this, the boss won't apply decrease attack on Twitch. We don't want that to happen. Only these 2 characters will get hit right here. So we don't want her to get hit either by the battle skill because it's very likely that she will die, okay? So like this, the boss will only use the battle skill versus these 2 characters here. Sometimes Corin might do something stupid and die, but let me just show you one thing that I am doing here, for example. So this, once again, is an old strategy with jumpers where you can put them to jump right behind the boss like this. You do the skill on manual once. He jumps behind the boss. He's not going to get hit with decreased attack. And that's going to be pretty important because you want to make sure they do as much damage as possible. Now, we will never get stunned with this strategy. With the other team, with Tolwar, basically we had a bit of resistance on all of the team, like 90, 80, 100 resistance on all of the characters. And we had Ogok build with very high resistance, and with the talent, he was sharing 20% of his resistance to the entire team. And then Tolwar was putting decreased accuracy and decreased attack on the boss. The team was always surviving till the end, which was actually really, really beneficial. And as you guys probably noticed, the damage is more or less the same. There's really no difference in terms of damage. Applied as many poisons as possible. Half Corin basically, extend that freaking duration. The stacks. Maybe if I can put the other talent to 50 stacks, it might work better. But honestly, I've tried it multiple times and I did not notice any freaking difference whatsoever. This team as well is not able of producing a huge explosion. As you guys probably noticed, we were 190 plus, we jumped to 200. And that's because Lothair does not actually hit that freaking hard in order to make it happen. You do need to have some tankiness on your Corin to make sure that he's going to survive, because if he's getting hit by the battle skill, he might actually die a bit early. And you don't want that to happen, basically. But that is one of the options. I like the Tolwar one as well, to be honest, because that gets the job done as well, and is more or less the same damage. But as I've mentioned, I don't think many of you guys want to scroll up Tolwar, even though he will be probably good for other Continental bosses in the future. I think in the last version of the game, we had him being very good in Season 2 versus the Continental bosses, if I remember it correctly. But I might be wrong. Maybe it was Season 3. I stopped playing at the end of Season 3. I think we got to Season 4 at the beginning, and that was it, you know. But here we are. 235 million damage. Heck, maybe I'm going to be able to push 240 with the team, or we're gonna get very close. We have 7 seconds, yeah. So close to 240 million, but it does get the job done at the moment. I wish I would have more time to try more things and basically try and min-max every single thing, but this will have to do for this week for me. And I think it's definitely not too bad. 240, I'll take it. Right. So that being done, we have one final team left. I already shared this team with you before. It is a lot of freaking RNG. Too much RNG, I would say, right? And that is the wild team. But still, I'm quickly going to explain you a couple of things about it, okay? Where is it? Vinera. There we go. Let's make sure I have the best build on her. Yes, I do. And the rest, these are basically their stats. I'm quickly going to show you that just in case if you're curious. So that's what we have right there. That's what we have right there. And that's what we have right there. Now, in terms of skill timing, this is what we have on them. 18 seconds. This is basically what you want to get. Last time I had him go after the first rotation because I did not have enough skill haste on him. But now with the Rift Hourglass, I have enough skill haste to basically make it work. And I've tried all type of different skill timings. And it's all about having that perfect explosion at the 190 million mark to push you to like 250, 260, 270 million if possible. That's how this team deals over 300 million damage. If that does not happen, this team will really not do that much. It's all about that explosion. Check out the previous videos if you haven't seen them yet. But we are going to probably using here all of these 19 runs unless I'm getting in one of them straight off the back something good. You see 251 million damage is weak sauce. 301 and we shall take this. We shall take this because I might retry with the other. Ooh, 13 more runs. What should we do, guys? I think we can get more. I'm very positive that we can get more. But the whole idea is... is it worth trying? Is it worth trying or not? Let's try it. We are gambling in here. 13 more tries. 265. Okay, the game let me down. But you've seen the 300 million. So I'm going to have to basically retry this in the background. I'm not going to save it. I'm just going to redeploy and just let it go on 4x speed till we're getting the score that we need. And with that 300 million, I should be close to 1.15, 1. Something like that in terms of the total score, which is definitely not bad at all. But that was all for this video, guys. Hopefully you're gonna have better freaking luck with this RNG fast because this team is crazy. As usual, appreciate all of you guys watching and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.